Welcome to FVHS Legacy Voices, the podcast where we celebrate the people who have shaped the history and spirit of Fuquay Varina High School. Today, we're joined by Bryan Haynes, a proud member of Class 2003 since graduation. He has gone on to serve as Fuquay Varina's Town Commissioner, continuing the legacy of excellence that began right here on our campus. We're excited to revisit school memories and hear how their journey has shaped both their life and our community. For listeners who may not know you yet, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey with Fuquay Barnea High School?
Sure. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. Bryan Haynes. I am a proud graduate of class 2003, the best class that came out of Fuquay in high school. I say that because we have literally police officers, firefighters, business owners, and elected officials that all graduated out of 2003 still living in Fuquay Arena. So it's awesome to be able to have all those people that we see. We all graduate together and came together. So I am now serving, just got reelected to my second term as town commissioner of Fuquay Arena for another 4 years. In high school, I came in 1999 to Fuquay Arena High School. I was in the marching band all 4 years. I was a varsity football player all 4 years. I was on the state championship wrestling team, I think in 2001. I was a part of the Beta Club and a whole lot of other things. I was also part of at one point in time FFA and other things. So a lot of that shaped what I did now. I actually was a graduation speaker, the keynote graduation speaker for my class at graduation. So that was kind of cool too as well. So yes.
Oh, and do you mind telling us what your position was while you played football?
Yes, I was a lineman, offensive and defensive lineman starter for the Bengals.
And for wrestling, I'm not sure if there are positions.
I wrestled 215 for wrestling. I think I was 198 when we won the state championship. When I wrestled 215.
Okay. Now, moving on. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
For while I was in school or now.
It could be all around.
I think the biggest accomplishment in school was being able to be the keynote speaker for graduation. I entered into a competition to be the speaker and I actually won. So I think that was my biggest accomplishment because I ended my career here at the high school. I say in town, my biggest accomplishment is now, I mean, getting elected where I grew up, being able to see the people and see how the high school's grown throughout the years. I was in the old building that was looked like it was falling down a little bit, but I was in the old building. But yeah, that's I say that's my most prized accomplishment. I was able to come back and flip the coin during football season.
Really?
And got the coin, so that was cool. Some of the other things was while I was in marching band, we were able to go to Disney World. To be able to march through Disney World for the band was really cool as well. And then won the state championship wrestling. We went all the way to the mountains and had a ball and brought the championship back. So those are a few of my greatest accomplishments while I was in school.
Okay. And what instrument did you play?
I played the tuba. I originally started as a trombone player, then I played tuba, and actually that got me a marching band scholarship in college.
And do you still play any of those instruments today?
I pick up the tuba every once in a while. When I went to college, I actually start playing bass guitar in the jazz band, so I played that as well as played the tuba. I was tuba section leader in my college marching band as well, so we went all over the country. I went to Winston State University, and I left here on that marching band scholarship.
That's amazing. And was there a turning point in your career or education?
So honestly, it's interesting. When I left Fuquay, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I was trying to go to the military, but at that time, my military recruiter, or army recruiter, told me to go to college. Didn't know why. So I actually rushed. Miss McLeod was the dean of students at that time, and she took me to the CIAA tournament, and I applied to a bunch of HBCU schools at the CIAA tournament, and got accepted into a bunch of them, and ended up picking Winston State because they gave me a almost a full ride for band.
Really? And how was your experience there?
It was the best experience of my life. Like I said, it took a lot of my marching band time, took most of my life, but met friends that I still deal with now. I was able to travel the world, participate in a lot of different activities and stuff like so. I it was one of the best experiences of my life. I always tell people college was the best thing ever. I went on to get other degrees, but that's the one where I actually was able to have fun and enjoy myself. I actually enjoyed myself a little bit too long because I got on the 5-year plan instead of the 4-year plan, but I made it out.
Love to hear that. Now moving on to school as well. What was one of your favorite or funny memories from high school?
Favorite or funny high schools? Well, at that time we were still doing homecoming parades, so we had a parade before homecoming.
Mhm.
So that was always interesting because people got to decorate floats and everything. So we used to go down Main Street and have a
Mhm.
good time having that small homecoming thing. It was a lot. I mean, I had the best time. I was in graphics design class with Mr. Ray, who was back here. I think he's the softball coach now. I was in his class and we went to a graphics convention. Interesting is we got back the day before September 11th happened.
Mhm.
So, and we were on some of those flights that actually crashed into the building. So that was
Mhm.
very interesting when we came back and we were sitting in class. I then saw that happen. So those were some of the different things that happened. I mean, going on beta club conventions and being in the band, going traveling all over the state to all these competitions and winning all the awards was amazing.
So you definitely are a well-rounded student for the most part. And was there a teacher, class, or an activity that shaped you?
So at that time, Miss McLeod, she was a dean of students. She was amazing. Miss Myers was one of my was counselor here still, and I was here too.
Mhm.
So she's always it's good to see her every time I come back to see how many people she's impacted over the years. Mr. Ray, because he taught me graphic design. And at that time, we printed all the T-shirts, hall passes, the
Mm.
graduation programs, and everything for the high school. So I actually kept that, and now I actually have a screen printing business that I learned here at Fuquay-Varina in high school. So I print T-shirts for different organizations all over the state and all over the country. Now because of learning that from here at
Right.
Fuquay-Varina High School. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. How has Favoring High School and Fuquay changed or possibly stayed the same since your time here?
Hmm. Well, it's a new building. Um, I think the traditions are still here. Even though now we have another school in Fuquay, we still have that pride, and I brag about Fuquay Brandon High School. I think a lot of the teachers and a lot of the tradition is still going on that we had back when I was, and even before I came to the school, we had traditions then that people are still carrying on. And now, since living in Fuquay, there's so many people who all graduated from here, no matter what your era is, and you can always relate something back to the high school when you start talking about it. And
Mhm.
it's like a family. I tell people, Fuqua friends, all high school has always been a family. And now I see people in the position I'm in now, who, like I said, are business owners or you know elected officials and all these different people who we come in contact every day, and we can always go back to those memories of being here at Fuqua in high school.
Alrighty. Now moving on to community and civic impact. How are you involved in your community now?
So besides being an elected official, I'm the executive director of Pionex Community Center. So when COVID happened and the school shut down, I actually led the charge to make sure all the kids had food across Wake County. So I opened up my community center to be able to feed kids. We were feeding like 1,000 kids a day through the elementary schools, middle schools, and high schools in all Southern Wake County. So we would take care of all the Fuquay schools as well as some of Holly Springs and everything. So
Mm.
I'm part of Rotary Club. I'm part of a Masonic Lodge here and the Eastern Star Lodge chapter here. I'm part of a little bit of everything. I kind of stay around. Like I said, you get involved and you try to have the impact, a part of the Chamber of Commerce and a lot of different things. So you try to be, I try to be engulfed in the community as much as possible so I know what's going on and can hear and feel the beat and the pulse and the heart of the community going on at all times.
Right. Well, thank you for your service during that COVID. That definitely was a hard time. And you doing that definitely does mean a lot, I'm sure, for the families. And speaking of families, do you have any family?
So no, I'm single. I'm by myself. That's why I got a lot more time doing things. But my mom actually, she was a graduate from Fuquay Arena High School in '73, and that's when it was at the old middle school.
Mhm.
So she graduated from the old middle school. So she's here. My family is not technically originally from Fuquay Arena. So that's why I don't have much family in general here in Fuquay. But like I said, she graduated in '73 from the old middle school. So it's funny. We'll go back and look at her yearbook and see people who are in the town now
Or
who graduated with her as well. She sees a lot of her classmates as well.
Mhm. And how do you see the values or lessons you've learned at Fuquay Marina High School reflecting in your own community and civic leadership today?
Discipline, the community part of, everybody trying to work together and help people, definitely help the next generation is one of the key things. And so many people in the community, I see people from chamber and everything else working to make sure, our future business leaders, our future doctors and nurses and everybody and anything, and also open opportunities and internships for a lot of kids at the high school so they can learn the fields that these people do every day in the town of Fuquay-Varina. So I think all that, the discipline, the learning, the family, the camaraderie, and all that stuff has played a big impact in my life. Just the relationships. I think the relationships have been everything because you can always relate back and say, "Oh, you went to few ever in high school,"
Right.
and it feels like somebody give you a little extra help whenever you say that. So.
Yeah. And now, closing out, if you could walk the halls of Fuquay Marina High School now, what advice would you like to give the teachers and the students here?
So for me, I realized once I got into college and stuff, I'll tell students for sure, don't skip out on opportunities. I feel like I should have took more opportunities and more things that were presented to me, no matter whether it's classes, no matter whether it's workshops, scholarships and everything. At that time, I was a little bit lazy and didn't want to do it. I say I don't want to put that much work in. But now I realize if I would have took some of those steps and did some of those things that per se weren't comfortable to me or something that I might not really like, I would have learned a little bit more and I would be a little bit further ahead. So I tell people don't miss those opportunities. I mean, it can be the smallest thing, but those smallest things will change your life. So, and also, just make sure you start to figure out what you want to do early. Don't wait to, senior year. Don't wait to junior year. Start trying to learn in your freshman year. Go and reach out to these businesses and ask them, can you come and just shadow them? And if I'd have did some of those things, I kind of would have knew more what I want to do in life. And like I say, your life changes. Accept the process, accept the good, the bad, the ugly, and all, and use it as a learning tool to get better. I think that's the main thing. I definitely appreciate all the teachers for all they do. They don't get paid enough for what they do every day. So, we try to support and help and do everything we can to uplift them as they keep them to uplift each and every one of y'all.
Thank you for that. And just to say, I feel like you definitely were a well-rounded student compared to the students we have here today. So I think you did a pretty good job. You were in different multiple sports. You were definitely around. So you definitely should give yourself a pat on the back for that. And last but not least, if you could describe our school in one word, what would it be and why?
I'll say it's family. I use the word family a lot because, you know, I've developed people that I didn't know until even later in years that we all went to school if we were in high school and we became the closest friends, family, business partners. I serve on boards with them now all across the town. And even when I go different places, Fuquay, people say, "Oh, you went to Fuquay? You're from Fuquay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So and it's like I went to Fuquay in high school and you found out all this stuff. So I feel like family is the biggest word that I can always think back and say that we were a big family.
Okay, thank you, Bryan Haynes, for sharing your story with us. And thanks to our listeners for tuning in to FEHS Legacy Voices. Stay tuned for more alumni stories.